the other part is that we're up here for a purpose as well, and the one thing that we can do is actually win games of footy, and we know how much joy that brings to everyone, brings to our supporters, brings to our players and to our staff. That's basically our role, is to win games of footy, and that's going to be really our purpose.
Episode 2 of the Talking Points from our hub in Manly. I'm joined by GM of Footy, Josh Mahoney. Welcome, Marns.
Okay, Benny. Thanks for having me, mate.
The biggest talking point, of course, is the hub, how it looks, how long we're here for, and all of that. So firstly, can you just, explain to us the process of actually getting up here from what has been a pretty tricky weekend and a tough few days?
Yeah, we've been told all year to be adaptable, and that was really put on show this weekend when we first started to talk about that we needed to leave the state. Was probably on Friday, and then we're working on a flight being on the Monday. That on Saturday quickly changed to being a flight on Sunday night. Then you have to work through the numbers and who's coming up, if families are coming up. So there's a lot of work that went into probably Friday and Saturday to get up here, which was the first part that we had to get right. And we had to make sure we had a program in Melbourne set up as well. So there's a lot of work that went into that. And now we're just really working on making sure that we're setting up the right facilities so the players can perform.
Is there a bit of relief now that we are here and can settle in to some extent?
Oh, a little bit. You'd like to see the program at the moment. We're still working with the councils and AFL New South Wales and the AFL on providing the best facilities for our players. And we've been able to get a good gym yesterday. We're going out to Blacktown Oval tonight to train. So the facilities are going to become really good, but you just want to see it played out and our players getting the opportunity to train.
We've been told we'll be here for roughly 32 days. We know things can change. Obviously, there's a lot going on back home in Victoria. Have you got any idea how long we'll be here? I
think at the moment we just got to be, just know the information that we've been told. So at this stage, we're just working on that. That's the number. We'll be here for 5 weeks, and even to that point, the only thing we know for sure is we're going to be here for 2 weeks. Like we could actually be somewhere completely different as well. So really the focus for the players and staff is just control what we can control, which is at the moment is not a lot for a lot of people at the moment. So it's really all we can control at the moment is our program whilst we're at Manly, making sure we've got real purpose with every training session, making sure that when the downtime is there, we use that downtime appropriately as well. But we're still living under tight restrictions here in New South Wales as well. So we're making it all work. Obviously cognizant that there's a lot of things changing very quickly.
What are those restrictions? What can the boys actually do when they're not training or in the hub?
Yeah, not much has changed from Victoria, what we left. And the AFL have got strict protocols around what we can and can't do. Obviously, New South Wales are under different protocols to Victoria, but that doesn't mean that we are. So we're still living under the AFL protocols. Even having a beach across the road, it's not as if we go there all the time. The players can go there for recovery for a 10-minute period. So there's still some really tight restrictions on where we can travel. We had to catch a bus the other day to a training ground which is only 500 metres away. So all those sorts of things, it's about making sure we're still in a hub environment. It's about protecting us, but it's also about protecting New South Wales as well.
You touched on training. We're heading out to Giant Stadium tonight. Is it, to train at night and get used to the facility leading into Saturday night's game?
Yeah, it was something that we'd planned to do this year for night games, to try and train at night, and we would have had that opportunity at Casey Fields to train under lights. And we've got that opportunity at Blacktown tonight to train at the same time we're going to be playing on Saturday night. So all those little things shows that we're still looking at performance and make sure that we are getting used to whatever conditions are going to be like up here.
Moving back to Sunday, it was an amazing day really, wheeling in suitcases to the game, getting driven onto the tarmac in the bus. Was it the strangest experience you've ever had in sport?
Yeah, as I've said before, you got to be ready for anything. And from Saturday afternoon when we said we're flying out Sunday night, it was about how can we get all that information out, but keep people's mind on the job and making sure they're performing against Richmond. And unfortunately, they had to bring their bags to the games. And then after that, as soon as the game finished, we had to get on a bus from the MCG and went straight to the airport. And then from the airport, we went onto the tarmac and caught a plane, and we shared that with Geelong. And we got here at Manly at about 11:30 at night. So that was a big day for everyone. And it's fair to say it hasn't stopped yet. I think we'll start to settle into the program over the next few days.
There were a fair few babies on that flight. A lot of families have come up. What was the situation for families?
Yeah, with families, we just asked the players that it's going to be a period of time we're going to be away for, and we've had a lot of young kids have been born in the last few months for a few of our players. So we gave their players the opportunity if they wanted to bring families up here, and we've got 7 families that are up here, both for players and staff. So that's been. We spoke to everyone on Monday about this is our family for the next 5 weeks in Manly. So it's been really good to have them just in the dining hall and the kids running around and it's been a good experience for them. And yeah, it's just trying to take one of the pressures away from those players in particular.
It is a privilege in some senses being up here and part of a football environment, but the sacrifice is real, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, it's never great when you're hearing about Victorians' restrictions and now all our families are going to be back into lockdown, and we've all got families. I've got 3 kids back at home, and there's other staff members that have got kids that won't be able to go to school potentially. So, there's all those extra pressures. So everyone is feeling it. And really what we're encouraging is just to, like anything, just talk about it. We'll do everything we can to try and take some of that away. But the other part is that we're up here for a purpose as well. And that the one thing that we can do is actually win games of footy. And we know how much joy that brings to everyone, brings to our supporters, brings to our players and to our staff. That's basically our role, is to win games of footy. And that's going to be really our purpose.
We've brought up 33 players. What was the thought process behind doing that?
Yeah, it's based on 2 things, based on the feedback from clubs that have been at hubs, and based on the second thing was that, the first thing about the numbers was that to bring less worked really effectively. And the second part is we're here for performance. So when we looked at, players are going to be playing in our team in the next 5 weeks, that's how we made our decision. And then the second part of it was we want to set up a Melbourne program as well. I touched on our staff. We've got 5 staff, senior staff, that for different reasons couldn't come to Manly. And we've been able to provide a program down there that's got plenty of support for our players. They can really focus on getting better. They've got a purpose as well. And we're really looking forward to when we can eventually all get together.
The other talking point is, of course, the game on Sunday. The second quarter was probably the biggest issue. Do you have any idea what's going wrong in not being able to play those full 4 quarters?
Yeah, the second quarter was an issue of they scored and got on top, but really the first quarter as well, we missed a lot of opportunities. We spoke about it probably last week about missed opportunities as well, and the tale continued for us. When we showed the players back on the vision of what the opportunities were that we missed, and a lot of them were very skill based. Just missed kicks, some poor decisions. So we are creating those, which is step 1, but we just got to start maximising them, start getting some real reward for the work we're doing. The effort can't be questioned by what the players are doing. The effort from the coaching staff can't be questioned, but we just got to start putting some results on the board and making sure we're kicking goals, putting the score on the board, and winning games of footy.
There are some real similarities in what's going wrong. Is that creating any frustration among the group? Because we are quite close, but...
Oh, yeah, that's frustrating. Losing's frustrating. Everyone wants to perform week in, week out, and that's why we're in this game, is to win games of footy. So, yeah, for sure, it's frustrating. But there has to be really clear ways of getting better, and I think there's some real clarity about what it needs to be done. And from one of the advantages of the program up here is that we're going to be able to train more. Already we've added extra sessions in, real skill-based sessions. So we're really impressed by the attitude of the players and staff coming up here. It's about looking for what are the opportunities that we actually get better. We have got this issue that we're working on at the moment. Everyone's working hard, but how can we maximise our time up here?
Well, hopefully we see things change this Saturday night against the Suns. Mars, thanks for joining us
That's
on the
plan,
Talking
Benny.
Points.
Good on you, mate.